A very good evening and welcome to this Saturday's final edition of Yes 101's Visual Radio. Bringing you the news, I'm Theruni Karunaratna. Let's start off with this evening's top stories.
Newsfirst headline.
Making headlines in local news, investigation ordered into the unauthorized release of a prisoner without presidential pardon. National Poson Week begins. Department of Motor Traffic to undergo digitization to curb corruption. In news overseas, UNRWA urges Israel to provide evidence against allegations. And in sports, it's football. Mbappe unfazed by PSG winning Champions League without him. On to those stories in detail now. The President's Media Division has announced that the President's office has lodged a complaint with the Criminal Investigation Department regarding the release of a prisoner who was not granted a presidential pardon. According to the statement, the matter is under investigation and appropriate disciplinary action will be taken against those responsible for any wrongdoing uncovered during this inquiry. This situation came to light following the release of W.H. Atula Tilakaratne, who was serving a sentence at the Anuradhapura prison, reportedly in connection with a financial fraud case. His release, said to have occurred in conjunction with the 2025 Vesak Poya Day under the pretext of a presidential pardon, has raised serious concerns and appears to be a significant procedural violation. The President's Media Division emphasized that the President does hold the constitutional authority to grant general amnesty to prisoners under Article 34(1) of the Constitution of Sri Lanka. According to the standard procedure, prison superintendents submit a list of eligible inmates to the Ministry of Justice. Now that list is reviewed thereafter by the Ministry before being forwarded to the Presidential Secretariat for final approval by the President. The media release notes that for the recent round of presidential pardons on the 6th of May, a total of 388 names were included in the approved list. And crucially, the name of this particular individual in question, who was serving at the time at the Anuradhapura prison for financial misconduct, was not included in this list. The President's Media Division further clarified that the release of this individual did not have the President's approval and his name was not among those who were granted pardons. Today marks the start of the National Poson Week and it will continue until the 13th of June. This year's National Pon Festival is being held under the theme Let the World Be Enlightened by the Teachings of the Buddha. A series of religious and cultural events have been organized across key historic sites including Anuradhapura, Mihintale and Tantirimale. The official state Pon Festival is set to take place at the sacred Mihintale grounds. Now all liquor stores in the Anuradhapura district will also remain closed throughout this entire period. And around 2 million devotees are expected to visit Anuradhapura for the 2333rd National Poson Festival. Well, we're still in local news. The Ministry of Transport, Highways, Ports and Civil Aviation has announced that the Department of Motor Traffic will be moving towards digitization as part of a broader reform initiative. State Minister Ruan Kodituaku says that the only sustainable solution to the prevailing issues of corruption and fraud within the department is to transition its services into a digital system. Now, in the first phase of the project, the processes related to vehicle registration and the issuance of driver's licenses will be digitized. In addition, a plan is being implemented to reduce the severe congestion currently experienced at the Narahenpita and Verahara offices. As part of this initiative, all 25 district offices will be networked, allowing the public to access key services provided by the main officers through their respective district branches. State Minister Kodituaku adds that this move is aimed at increasing convenience for the public and improving overall service delivery. Coming up next is international news.
International news.
The UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees, or the UNRWA, says the agency has repeatedly requested cooperation and evidence from Israel regarding the allegations being made against it, yet all requests have gone unanswered. The UNRWA stated it remained committed to its mandate and is ready to deliver humanitarian assistance at scale in Gaza together with other UN agencies. Now, Israel has accused UNRWA employees of involvement in the Hamas-led attacks on southern Israel on the 7th of October 2023, a charge vehemently denied by the United Nations. Last year, in the aftermath of these allegations, the Israeli Knesset passed 2 bills prohibiting the UNRWA from conducting activities within Israel's borders and making it illegal for Israeli officials to have any contact with the UNRWA. And these measures have been in place since January. Coming up next is your update on sports.
Sports news.
And in sports, it's football. Kylian Mbappe said he was happy to see his former team Paris Saint-Germain win the Champions League for the first time this season, despite having left the club a year ago in acrimonious circumstances to join Real Madrid. PSG thrashed Inter Milan 5-0 last week to win Europe's premier club competition for the first time, having lost in the 2020 final to Bayern Munich. Mbappe left PSG on a free transfer last year as the team's all-time top scorer, but the 26-year-old took his former club to court over 55 million euros in unpaid wages. And that's a wrap of this Saturday's final edition of Yes 101's Visual Radio. Thank you for joining us this time, and do stay tuned with News First for more of the very latest.